Hi, I'm Michael Willms of Entertainment Design Events located in Beverly Hills, California. I've been planning weddings for 20 plus years. I started my company in October of the early 90s. My signature style is very California chic, which includes patios and outdoor dining areas, wonderful chandeliers, and an eclectic flair which is unique unto itself. You can always tell a Michael Willms event because it is so detailed and comfortable. I've executed over 300 weddings, and that includes bartending, dishwashing, and designing the wedding itself. One of the most challenging experiences in my life where I saved the wedding was when I was on headset and my assistants were calling, Michael, come, you've got to get in here and save the bride. And so I went to the bride's room and found her bare-chested with her dress at her waist, bursting into tears, melting down completely. I mean, there's no way this wedding was going to happen unless something happened really fast and everything got pulled together. So she says, Michael, you're the only one that gets to see my titties. You're the only one that gets to see my titties. And I'm like, oh God, I'm the lucky one, right? So then, they were quite pink, by the way. So anyway, I started helping her get back in her dress. She'd had the dress designed in New York, and there was a bra insert and the dress and everything else. So I had to rebuild the whole thing, get her all put back together. And in the process, one of my assistants touched the bride's hair and veil. And so she screamed hysterically that she had hair extensions and everything in. So not to touch her no matter what, not to touch my hair, don't touch my hair. So the assistant just ran out of the room and escaped. And I kept working with the bride, and then she started getting really nervous and crying and everything else. And slowly more family members, as I got her put into the dress, started showing up. So I got her zipped up, buttoned up, and all put back in the dress and looking great. And then she was acting a little bit bitchy, and I said, listen, young lady, do you think this is the first wedding I've ever done? And she goes, no, Michael. And I said, then you straighten up and act like a lady and let's get you married. One of the most unique weddings I did was for a couple from New Zealand who got married in Puebla, Mexico, yet started their celebrating in Costa Correas, Mexico. We only had 40 guests, yet with all the entertainment, about 75 entertainers in total, beverage, food, private jet travel, etc., we spent about $1,080,000. Another fantastic celebration was for a U.S. bride born of Chinese descent who married a Jewish man from Mexico City, and the wedding took place in Paris, France. We started the partying at 11 a.m. with a Chinese tea ceremony, and the festivities continued until 4 a.m. When the DJ cut the music at 4, I was sitting out by the bonfire outside of the chateau wondering why the party had to stop so early. Boy, was it a fun time. Some of the strange and unusual factors that go into wedding planning is based on the fact that there's a really interesting pair of people, the mother of the bride and the mother of the groom, the MOB and the MOG. Each one comes into the wedding planning process with her own idea of what she thinks should happen. And then it's left for me and the bride and groom to sort everything out. Half the time we're hiding behind this pillar, hiding behind that corner, talking about who wants what, who's got more money than who, and trying to figure out who's going to be ruling what. One of the most interesting things I ever heard from a bride was the fact that she couldn't believe she was marrying this effing asshole, talking about her groom. One time we did a wedding where we had another church planner that was involved, and she was trying to coordinate everything kind of on the sly while we were really the head coordinators. We had our own timeline with everything listed out, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the details ready to go. But she had her own plans, so we had to turn our timeline upside down. Nobody knew who was in control, and her only goal was to get everything done before dinner. The cake cutting, the toast, the first dance, everything. Click, 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 click. So after dinner there was nothing to do. We couldn't wait till the night was over. My staff and I just constantly walked on eggshells, and it seemed like she was kowtowing the other planner to us the whole entire time because we're the head planners, but she couldn't figure out who was in charge. We couldn't figure out who was in charge, and then it all culminated with us tearing apart all the centerpieces while the guests were still there. There was a wedding guest there that had one of the ankle bracelets on because she'd just gotten out of prison or was on house arrest or something. I mean, this was the craziest thing. I can't imagine what was going on, but we had a blast. For me, I've been planning weddings for so long that you really can't bring anything before me that I can't handle, and I'm serious. The most stressful part of planning a wedding for me is just showing up in the morning, getting ready to go to the wedding at my house, drinking my coffee, thinking, oh my God, let the clock be my friend. Tick, 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 tick. Let me get through the day, and I can't wait until 10 o'clock when this whole shebang is finished, and we're finished with all the details, finished with all the stress, finished with all the setup, and getting ready to start the tear down, and the bride and groom are ensconced in their limo, headed back to their hotel to relax. Another really stressful part in wedding planning for me is our timelines. Making the timeline. I have to go through every single detail, every single step, point by point by point, from what the bride's going to have for breakfast, whether she's having juiced, whole wheat toast, white toast, butter, no matter what it is, what the groom's going to have, whether it's yogurt, granola, coffee, decaf, Splenda, sweet and low. All these details are lined up one after another, and if we forget one tiny detail, it's not going to happen. Sometimes our timelines are up to 40 pages long, so that's a major stressor. The biggest challenge for me in planning weddings is selling myself in a market where there's so many wedding planners of so little ilk, and my price point is 4 times higher than theirs. The bride and groom have no idea about what you get when you pay for what you want until the wedding's over, and they have the entire experience for themselves. They're ready to walk down the aisle, everything's falling apart, and here's some idiot screaming and yelling at the top of her lungs, driving everybody crazy, quote unquote, the wedding planner. The most important and ultimate goal for me when planning a wedding is keeping all the guests, as well as the bride, the groom, and the families comfortable, as long as they have what they need to eat, drink, a place to sit, etc., and everything pretty much runs on time according to our timeline, because the bride and groom know what our timeline is, and we usually run, which is incredible, about 4 minutes according to our timeline, plus or minus. Then they know everything's fine, everything runs smoothly. That's what makes it all magic. I think you should pick me as a planner on whose wedding is it anyway, because I'm a great planner with tons of experience and have a complete tell it like it is personality that can get away with murder because of my southern charm and gay personality.